Have you ever wondered why your motivation dies just days after setting a goal? Why your vision fades beneath the weight of excuses, distractions, and self-doubt? It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack talent. It's because you've been taught to chase consistency instead of the real power that drives success. The world tells you, be disciplined. The deeper truth, stay consistent. But if that worked, wouldn't you already be where you want to be? There's something far more potent than willpower, a principle used by every self-made success throughout history, whether they knew it or not. And today you're going to unlock that force. If you can't stay consistent, do this instead. From the earliest moments when ambition stirs within the human soul, there is a whisper that consistency is the ultimate key to success. Stay consistent. The world advises. Do a little every day. Discipline yourself to follow through. These maxims are repeated endlessly, drilled into our minds like sacred commandments. Yet, for so many, this pursuit of consistency becomes a source of frustration, failure, and self-recrimination. Why is it the very thing hailed as the bedrock of achievement is also the cause of despair for countless dreamers? The truth is consistency, at least as it is commonly understood, is a myth, a misconception that traps aspiring minds in an unproductive cycle. When we think of consistency, we imagine rigid, unbroken chains of identical actions repeated day after day. We picture waking early, exercising, journaling, working on a project every morning without fail. We imagine an unrelenting, mechanical march forward. But life, with its unpredictable turns and emotional tides, rarely fits into such a neat pattern. Our innerly fluctuates, our circumstances change, and our motivation waxes and wanes. To demand perfect consistency is to demand the impossible. More importantly, consistency by itself does not guarantee success. It is not the mere repetition of actions that shapes our destiny, but the quality and intent behind those actions. Imagine someone performing a mediocre task consistently. Will that person suddenly rise to greatness? No. Consistent mediocrity only breeds more mediocrity. Success is born from inspired action, from bursts of focused effort that spring from a purpose so powerful it sets the soul ablaze. When the action loses its meaning, the habit becomes a hollow shell, empty of passion, and therefore ineffective. History's most remarkable achievers did not succeed because they were slaves to routine. They succeeded because they were driven by a burning desire, a vision so compelling that their actions, whether frequent or sporadic, were deeply aligned with their ultimate purpose. These great minds, inventors, the leaders and creators harnessed their energy in waves, not in a relentless trickle. Their lives were marked by moments of intense focus and drive, punctuated by periods of rest, reflection, or even apparent inconsistency. Yet, when viewed as a whole, their journey was forward-moving and unstoppable. This reveals a critical insight. Consistency in success is not about rigid daily repetition, but about maintaining a connection to your purpose, so strong that even your inconsistent efforts push you toward your goal. The law of cause and effect does not reward habit alone, it rewards directed, purposeful action. It is not enough to merely show up. You must show up with intent, with passion, with a clarity of mind and spirit that makes each step meaningful. Consider this. How many times have you seen people give up because they missed a day or a week, or even longer? They feel guilty for breaking their consistency. And that guilt saps their will to continue. They believe that one slip means failure, so they abandon their quest altogether. This all-or-nothing thinking is a fatal flaw. It overlooks the fact that progress is often uneven. The path to success is zigzagged, full of detours and pauses. It is human to falter. The truly wise do not measure their worth by a perfect streak, but by the ability to rise after every fall and to rekindle the flame of desire again and again. The myth of consistency also fails to account for the natural rhythms within us. Energy is not a steady current, but a series of pulses. There are days when you feel invincible, capable of great feat, the deeper truth, and days when the smallest task feels like a mountain. Instead of fighting this rhythm, the successful learn to harness it. They take advantage of high-energy moments to push hard and accept low-energy periods as necessary recovery. This is not inconsistency, it is harmony with one's natural flow. In this way, the obsession with consistency can become a prison rather than a path. It can make you rigid, afraid to adapt, unwilling to take risks because they might disrupt your routine. Success requires flexibility, imagination, and courage, the willingness to change course, to try new methods, and to leap into the unknown. When consistency becomes a demand, it limits growth. When it becomes a tool, it supports growth. It is also vital to understand that consistency often ignores the deeper question, why are you doing what you are doing? Without a definite purpose, daily repetition is like a ship sailing without a compass. You may move forward, but you won't necessarily move toward your destination. True power arises when every action, whether frequent or sporadic, is energized by a definite major purpose. This purpose lights a fire that burns through the obstacles of laziness, distraction, and doubt. Many who fail to stay consistent suffer from a lack of this definite purpose. They try to impose discipline where there is no passion, and discipline without desire is a fragile structure destined to crumble. When you connect your actions to a clear, burning goal, consistency becomes easier. Not because you force yourself, but because your inner drive compels you. You don't push, you are pulled by a force far greater than willpower. The world of achievement is full of examples that contradict the rigid idea of consistency. Some great artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders worked in intense bursts, producing incredible results in short spans of time. The deeper truth, they allowed themselves to rest, rethink, and recharge, knowing that the quality of effort matters more than its quantity. This approach nurtures creativity and resilience, two ingredients essential for lasting success. When you release yourself from the chains of mechanical consistency, you liberate your mind to pursue inspired action. You become a force of nature that moves toward your goals with a rhythm uniquely your own. You learn to listen to your inner guidance rather than external pressures. You accept imperfection and embrace progress. The deeper truth, you realize that true consistency is not in the habit itself, but in the unwavering commitment to your ultimate purpose. The foundation upon which all extraordinary success is built lies not in fleeting motivation, fleeting consistency, or external circumstances, but in one powerful source of a definite major purpose. This purpose is more than a vague wish or a passing dream. It is a clear, burning desire that consumes the mind and heart until it becomes the central force guiding every thought, every decision, every action. Without this focused purpose, the human spirit drifts like a rudderless ship, vulnerable to the currents of distraction, doubt, and delay. To leverage your definite major purpose, to harness it as a driving engine that propels you forward, even when obstacles arise and enthusiasm wanes. It is the source of true motivation, the deeper truth, the inner compass that refuses to be diverted by temporary failures or distractions. When your purpose is definite, you have something that anchors your willpower and transcends the need for empty habits or forced consistency. It is this inner fire that creates the unstoppable force behind every act of perseverance and progress. A definite major purpose serves as the lens through which every choice becomes meaningful. Instead of wandering aimlessly, you see your tasks and challenges as essential parts of a grander vision. Each small action becomes a step on a well-mapped journey rather than an isolated, meaningless chore. This clarity of purpose transforms the mundane into the monumental, the fueling a desire so intense that it pushes you beyond pain, fatigue, and fear. The man or woman with a definite major purpose does not measure effort in hours or days, but in devotion to the cause. This shifts the entire relationship with work in progress, allowing inspired energy to flow naturally. History teaches us that those who achieve greatness invariably possess this quality. The deeper they have identified their one overriding goal and committed to it with unshakable faith. The deeper truth, this commitment breeds a resilience that cannot be broken by setbacks or distractions because the mind is singularly focused on one outcome. The desire to achieve becomes so compelling that failure loses its sting and inconsistency becomes irrelevant. The purpose demands attention and effort until it is fulfilled. This is why so many falter in their pursuits. They lack a definite major purpose. They attempt many things, often half-heartedly, without dedicating themselves to a singular vision. Without that powerful, central aim, motivation is shallow and inconsistent, like a flame flickering in the wind. In contrast, a definite major purpose sets a permanent flame ablaze, one that draws you back each time you stray or stumble. It becomes a beacon during darkness and uncertainty. Leverage also means using this purpose to reshape your mindset and habits. When you have a definite goal, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You find solutions instead of excuses. Your mind becomes a laboratory of ideas, constantly searching for ways to bring you closer to your objective. This mental shift is crucial because the environment will always challenge your commitment. Distractions, doubts, and naysayers will test your resolve. The deeper truth, a definite major purpose shields you from the noise and keeps you moving forward. Moreover, your definite purpose influences not only your actions, but also your beliefs. Belief in your success is a natural outgrowth of knowing exactly what you want and why. Faith and desire become intertwined in a cycle that feeds itself. The stronger your purpose, the stronger your faith, and the more motivated you are to act. This cycles inertia into momentum and hesitation into boldness. Without a clear purpose, belief falters and motivation evaporates. It is important to recognize that a definite major purpose is not necessarily fixed forever. It may evolve as you grow and gain clarity, but it must always be precise enough to command your focus and passion. The vague ideas or scattered goals will not suffice. The purpose must be definite, meaning clearly defined, deeply felt, and consciously chosen. It should ignite enthusiasm within you, a burning need to bring it into reality. When this condition is met, all other elements of success begin to align naturally. Your definite major purpose also shapes the way you invest your time and energy. It demands priority. Tasks and activities that do not serve this purpose begin to lose their appeal and importance. The mind becomes selective, refusing to waste effort on triviality. The deeper truth, this is not about rigidity, but about intelligent focus. Every decision is weighed against the yardstick of your purpose, and only those aligned with it receive your full attention. This focus eliminates wasted effort and multiplies results. Furthermore, a definite major purpose connects you to something greater than yourself. It awakens a sense of mission. a feeling that your work is valued beyond immediate gain. This larger context adds meaning to your journey and strengthens your resolve. You are no longer driven solely by personal ambition, but by a desire to contribute, to create, or to impact the world. This higher calling infuses your efforts with purpose and persistence. When the pressure of life becomes overwhelming, it is your definite major purpose that provides refuge. It is the source of strength to end your hardships, to continue learning and growing, and to maintain hope. This purpose acts as a mental anchor, holding you steady when storms arise. It reminds you that setbacks are temporary and that every challenge is a stepping stone toward your ultimate goal. This mindset transforms obstacles from threats into opportunities for growth. Finally, to leverage your definite major purpose is to recognize that it is not passive but active. It demands more than thought. It demands action. You cannot simply hold a desire and expect the world to bend to your will. Your purpose must translate into daily decisions, focused effort, and intentional progress. This purposeful action, the deeper truth, sustains the momentum that carries you forward even when consistency fails. In the pursuit of success, many become fixated on the idea of consistency, repeating the same actions day after day, trusting that steady, unbroken effort will eventually produce results. Yet, this focus often overlooks a far more powerful forcing momentum. Momentum is the invisible current that carries you forward, making progress easier and more natural. It is not about perfect routines or unyielding discipline, but about creating and harnessing bursts of inspired action that build upon themselves and propel you toward your goals with increasing speed and confidence. Momentum begins when you take that first deliberate step toward your definite major purpose. It is the initial push that breaks inertia, the resistance that keeps you stuck in old habits, procrastination, or doubt. Once movement starts, it becomes easier to continue. Just as a heavy object requires tremendous effort to set in motion but less effort to keep rolling, your efforts compound over time. This is why understanding and embracing momentum is crucial to overcoming the struggle of maintaining consistency. When momentum is in your favor, obstacles seem smaller, distractions lose their grip. The deepen your energy multiplies. The work feels less like a burden and more like a natural extension of your desire. This dynamic is not accidental. It is the result of aligning your actions with your purpose in a way that excites and engages your mind and spirit. It transforms effort from a forced chore into a passionate pursuit. The deeper truth, most people fail to harness momentum because they focus too much on rigid routines without considering their emotional and mental engagement. They believe that showing up every day at the same time and performing the same tasks mechanically will guarantee success. But this mechanical repetition often leads to burnout and boredom. Without emotional investment, these actions become hollow and ineffective. Momentum requires more than mere presence. It demands energy, enthusiasm, and the willingness to stretch beyond comfort. The deeper truth, momentum means to capitalize on periods of high motivation and energy rather than waiting for a perfectly steady rhythm. It means recognizing when you are in a flow state. Those rare moments when your focus is sharp, your ideas are clear, and your enthusiasm is high, and using that energy to produce significant work. The deeper truth, during these times you can accomplish more in a few hours than on many inconsistent days. The key is to ride these waves as they come, pushing hard and making tangible progress rather than forcing yourself to a strict, uninspired schedule. Moreover, momentum is not just about working harder, but about working smarter. Each burst of inspired action should be intentional, strategic, and aligned with your definite major purpose. When you move with purpose, your efforts are not scattered but concentrated on what truly matters. This focused energy builds a momentum that carries you swiftly through obstacles and accelerates your growth. Embracing momentum also means being flexible and adaptive. Life will throw unexpected challenges and interruptions your way, and rigid adherence to a set routine can lead to frustration. Instead, by turning into your natural rhythms and adjusting your efforts accordingly, you maintain momentum even in the face of change. For example, if you have a day when your energy is low, you can shift to lighter, supportive tasks rather than forcing yourself to grind through major work. This approach respects your human nature and preserves your long-term drive. Another important aspect of momentum is the psychological effect it has on your confidence and mindset. Success breeds success. When you complete a task or reach a milestone, no matter how small, it creates a sense of achievement that fuels further action. This positive feedback loop strengthens your belief in your ability and keeps your enthusiasm alive. Conversely, stagnation or failure to act diminishes confidence and saps motivation. Momentum keeps you moving forward and prevents the paralysis that often accompanies doubt and fear. Momentum also serves as a shield against the common enemy of progress, procrastination. When you have momentum, the urge to delay or avoid action diminishes because you are already in motion. The inertia of progress overcomes the inertia of hesitation. This is why taking even a small action can be so powerful. It initiates momentum that carries you forward. The key is to begin, no matter how imperfectly, and trust that the movement you create will grow. In this sense, the deeper truth moment is intimately connected to the concept of inspired action. It is not about blindly pushing through obstacles with brute force, but about responding to your inner drive and external opportunities with enthusiasm and determination. Inspired action ignites momentum, and momentum sustains inspired action. This cycle is the engine of progress. Understanding the power of momentum also means recognizing when it has been lost and knowing how to regain it. There will be times when you feel stuck, unmotivated, or overwhelmed. These moments are natural, but they do not have to define your journey. To rekindle momentum, you must reconnect with your definite major purpose, reignite your desire, and take immediate, focused action. No matter how small, this restart creates a new push that can grow once again into a powerful current. Finally, embracing momentum requires patience and trust in the process. Momentum does not guarantee instant success, nor does it erase challenges. What it does is create a natural force that makes progress easier and more sustainable over time. It turns effort from a constant struggle into a dynamic flow. By learning to work with momentum rather than against it, you transform your approach to achievement and unlock a higher level of effectiveness and fulfillment. The world speaks often of habits. It teaches that success is found in crafting perfect routines, waking early, following schedules, and disciplining the body into mechanical action. While there is some value in habit, it is not the highest law of achievement. Habit alone can become lifeless, detached from the power that drives real transformation. What produces lasting success, what ignites human potential beyond ordinary limits, is not the cold repetition of habit, but the burning heat of desire and the unwavering strength of faith. These two forces, when linked, can do more in a short time than years of habit-bound effort. The deeper desire is the starting point of all achievement. It is not a wish or a vague interest. It is an intense emotional longing that possesses the mind. It wakes a person from sleep and occupies their thoughts during the day. When properly directed, desire becomes the engine that pulls you through difficulty and resistance. Habit without desire quickly decays into routine, and routine without feeling loses its ability to create results. But desire, when inflamed, energizes action. It causes you to leap out of bed, to push past fatigue, to keep moving even when the road is long and uncertain. This is why some people, even with excellent habits, struggle to achieve anything meaningful. Their actions are hollow. They do what they think they should do, not what they are inspired to do. They check boxes and follow plans, but their hearts are not in it. There is no fire, no faith, no emotional connection to the outcome. And so their results are average. Their spirit is wary, and their progress is slow. Now contrast that with someone whose heart is filled with desire. This person does not wait for the perfect time or the perfect plan. They move because they must. They act out of necessity because the vision burning within them cannot be denied. Even when they lack consistency or structure, they make more progress in a month than others make in a year. Deeper desire overrides obstacles, it trends excuses. It builds bridges where logic sees only walls. But desire alone is not enough. It must be paired with faith, the absolute belief that what you desire can and will become your reality. Faith is the unseen power that converts thoughts into things. It is the trust in a future not yet visible, the assurance that effort, backed by belief, will bear fruit. Faith is not merely hoping things will work out. It is the mental certainty that they must. And this certainty changes everything. The deeper person with strong desire and deep faith does not require perfect habits. Their belief fuels them in moments when the body is tired and the will is weak. When you believe deeply in your goal and feel intense emotional pull toward it, you don't have to discipline yourself constantly. You are moved from within. Action becomes natural. Consistency becomes effortless because the driving forces of desire and faith sustain you more powerfully than any habit could. Habit has its place. It can reinforce desire and create structure. But when it becomes the master instead of the servant, it kills passion. People become trapped in routines, checking off tasks without soul or meaning. They lose connection to their reason why. They forget the vision that once lit them up inside. The danger of habit is that it can become mechanical, detached from purpose. It can numb the spirit under the illusion of progress. But when you act from desire and faith, each step is filled with life, with meaning, with energy. One reason many people fail to stay consistent is because they try to build habits in a vacuum. They focus on behavior without fueling the emotion behind it. They try to force consistency with no emotional anchor. But emotion is the true driver of action. Human beings are not machines. They are emotional creatures. They move in the direction of what they feel deeply about. This is why desire must be fed daily. You must stoke the fire. See the vision, speak it aloud, write it, feel it, until it is so alive within you that action becomes inevitable. Faith must also be cultivated. It does not appear by chance. It grows through affirmation, visualization, repetition of belief, and surrounding yourself with ideas, people, and environments that reinforce your dream. When faith is strong, doubt cannot survive. And when doubt dies, hesitation disappears. This creates momentum, the very fuel of achievement. Many chase motivation, hoping it will appear when needed. But motivation is temporary. Desire and faith are sustainable. They do not rely on mood or circumstances. They are internal forces that can be summoned at will. You do not need to wait for the right feeling to take action. You generate the right feeling by reconnecting to your purpose and believing in its fulfillment. This emotional state then drives powerful action, which creates results, which strengthens your faith, which deepens your desire, forming a self-reinforcing cycle. So rather than trying to force new habits, begin by deepening your desire and anchoring your faith. Ask yourself what you truly want. What goal or dream sets your soul on fire? Picture it in vivid detail. Let the emotions it stirs within you come alive. Then choose to believe in its certainty. Feed that belief with thoughts, words, and images that support your vision, and from that place act. Even if the action is small, it will be powerful. The deep root, for it is not the size of the habit, but the strength, the desire, and the depth of the faith that determine the result. In the modern world, we are often overwhelmed by the idea that success requires doing more. More hours taxed, more hustle. The prevailing wisdom encourages us to be busy, to fill every minute with activity, to grind relentlessly until the finish line appears. Yet this flood of motion often obscures the true essence of progress. It is not the quantity of effort, the deeper truth, but the quality effort that separates those who achieve lasting success from those who merely exhaust themselves without meaningful results. The deeper quality is the secret ingredient that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. It is the difference between wandering through tasks with distraction and purposefully applying your energy where it matters most. When your focus shifts from how much you do to how well you do it, the entire nature of your work changes. Each action gains significance, each decision becomes deliberate, and each moment of attention compounds into greater achievement. One of the great misunderstandings about consistency is that it requires endless repetition, often mindless repetition, of many small acts. But this approach can lead to diminishing returns. When energy is scattered across too many tasks, or when actions are formed without full attention, results suffer. The mind tires, enthusiasm fades, and progress slows. In contrast, the deepening on quality directs your full mental and emotional resources toward fewer, but more impactful activities. This concept aligns with the principle that a few well-executed steps toward your definite major purpose are worth far more than dozens of poorly executed attempts. Imagine a sculptor working on a masterpiece. The deeper truth is not the number of chips removed from the marble, but the precision and intention behind each strike that reveal the final form. Similarly, your efforts should carve out your success not by volume, but by their sharpness, clarity, and alignment with your goals. When quality is your priority, you become selective. You ask yourself which actions will bring the greatest return on investment for your time and energy. This selectivity creates a natural filter that eliminates distractions and trivial pursuits. It also prevents burnout because you are no longer trying to do everything, but rather focusing on what truly counts. This focus breeds satisfaction and confidence, which further fuels motivation. Furthermore, the quality work generates momentum. When you deliver excellent results, you build a foundation of credibility and confidence, not only within yourself, but also with others. This positive reinforcement creates opportunities, opens doors, and attracts support. The ripple effect of quality action far exceeds what can be achieved by sheer quantity. People notice excellence. The doors open for those who consistently provide value, and this accelerates progress in ways busy but unfocused efforts never can. Another critical aspect of quality is the mindset behind your actions. Quality is not merely technical skill or knowledge. It is an attitude. It is the commitment to give your best in each moment, regardless of the size of the task. This attitude transforms routine tasks into opportunities for mastery and growth. It makes even small steps meaningful because each is performed with care and intention. Over time, this commitment to quality refines your character, sharpens your abilities, and shapes your destiny. In addition, focusing on quality requires patience. The world often praises quick fixes and instant gratification, but true success is forged in the slow fire of deliberate, careful effort. You must be willing to invest time in perfecting your craft, learning deeply, and revising your approach. This patience does not mean inactivity or procrastination. It means resisting the temptation to rush or settle for mediocrity. It means honoring the process as much as the outcome. This principle also applies to the use of your mental energy. Quality focus demands that you guard your mind against distractions and interruptions. In a world full of noise and temptation, protecting your attention is essential to producing excellent work. The ability to concentrate deeply, to immerse yourself fully in the task at hand, is a rare and valuable skill. It multiplies the impact of your efforts and preserves your energy for what matters most. Quality over quantity also encourages strategic rest and renewal. It recognizes that the human mind and body can operate at high levels indefinitely. To maintain quality, you must allow yourself periods of rest, reflection, and rejuvenation. This cyclical approach prevents burnout and keeps your creativity and problem-solving abilities sharp. It is a sustainable path that honors your natural rhythms rather than forcing relentless activity. Moreover, when you focus on quality, you build a habit of excellence that becomes part of your identity. You begin to see yourself as a person who does things well, who values precision, who pursues mastery. This identity fuels your desire and faith, creating a positive feedback loop that supports sustained effort. Your reputation and self-esteem grow, providing a psychological foundation for greater challenges and higher achievements. The lesson here is clear. True consistency is not about mindless repetition or endless business. It is about committing to quality in every effort, no matter how small. It is about choosing your actions with care and performing them with excellence. This focus on quality produces results that last and satisfaction that endures. It turns work into art and effort into legacy. By shifting your mindset from quantity to quality, you unlock a powerful force within yourself. You stop chasing mere activity and start chasing meaningful progress. This shift changes your relationship with work and success. It makes your journey more fulfilling, your results more profound, and your impact greater. One of the greatest obstacles to maintaining momentum and achieving consistent progress lies within ourselves, specifically in the burden of past mistakes, regrets, and self-condemnation. The human mind has a tendency to replay errors, to dwell on failures, and to punish itself with harsh judgment. This internal resistance not only drains emotional energy, but also saps motivation and clouds clarity. The power to break free from this cycle comes through the practice of forgiveness. Most importantly, self-forgiveness, and the commitment to keep moving forward regardless of past setbacks. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a passive or weak act. However, it is one of the most courageous and transformative forces available to a determined mind. To forgive is to release the grip of resentment and regret that keeps you chained to your past. It is an act of liberation that clears space within your consciousness for renewed energy and creativity. Without forgiveness, the weight of past failures comes as a millstone, dragging down progress and dimming the light of desire and faith. Self-forgiveness, in particular, is essential for anyone who struggles with consistency. When you fail to meet your own expectations, when you stumble or stray from your path, it is natural to feel disappointment. But if that disappointment turns into self-criticism or harsh judgment, it creates a barrier to moving forward. Negative self-talk erodes confidence and breeds hesitation. The mind for truth becomes a prison where every misstep is a sentence and every failure a permanent mark. Choosing forgiveness means rejecting this prison. It means acknowledging that mistakes are part of the human experience and that failure is often the greatest teacher. Forgiveness allows you to treat yourself with compassion rather than condemnation. The deeper truth, it opens the door to learning from your errors instead of being paralyzed by them. This shift is critical because the ability to adapt and grow from setbacks distinguishes those who ultimately succeed from those who give up. Moreover, forgiveness is not just about letting go of the past. It is about actively choosing to renew your commitment to your definite major purpose. It is a declaration that yesterday's failures do not define your tomorrow's possibilities. The deeper new moment offers a fresh opportunity to realign with your goals, to rekindle desire, and to strengthen faith. Forgiveness fuels this renewal by clearing the mental and emotional clutter that otherwise distracts and drains you. The act of moving forward is itself an expression of forgiveness. It is the decision to refuse stagnation and to keep taking steps, no matter how imperfect, toward your vision. This forward movement is what turns regret into growth and frustration into fuel. Progress does not require perfection, it requires persistence. Forgiveness softens the internal resistance that makes persistence so difficult. In practical terms, practicing forgiveness involves conscious effort. It begins with awareness, recognizing when you are trapped in negative thought patterns or self-blame. Then it requires a deliberate shift in perspective, reminding yourself that all great achievers have faced failures and disappointments. They did not allow these experiences to halt their progress. Instead, they used them as stepping stones. This mindset is cultivated through affirmations, reflection, and surrounding yourself with influences that reinforce hope and resilience. Forgiveness also nurtures emotional balance. Without it, frustration and guilt can trigger stress and anxiety, which impair decision-making and sap motivation. By forgiving yourself, you reduce these harmful emotions and create mental space for clarity and creative problem-solving. Emotional resilience grows, allowing you to face challenges with steadiness and courage rather than fear and avoidance. Another profound benefit of forgiveness is that it fosters humility and openness. When you forgive yourself, you acknowledge your imperfections but also your potential. This humility opens the door to continuous learning and growth. You become more willing to seek help, to receive feedback, and to adapt your strategies. This openness accelerates progress and deepens your connection to your definite major purpose. It is important to extend forgiveness beyond yourself to others who may have contributed to your setbacks. Holding on to resentment toward others not only consumes emotional energy, but also distracts you from your own path. Forgiveness toward others releases this energy and restores your focus. It reinforces the understanding that your success depends on your own actions and mindset rather than external blame. Ultimately, practicing forgiveness and moving forward requires courage and discipline. The deeper truth means choosing hope over despair, action, and faith over fear. The deep means cultivating a mindset that views failure not as a dead end, but as a detour, an essential part of the journey toward achievement. By embracing forgiveness, you free yourself from the chains of the past and open the door to a future of limitless possibilities. You strengthen your resolve to continue pursuing your goals with renewed passion and unwavering faith. The deeper truth. This practice becomes a cornerstone of your inner strength and a vital tool in your arsenal against inconsistency and self-doubt. The journey toward consistent success is not a straight paved with flawless habits or endless routines. It is a dynamic dance with desire, faith, momentum, and forgiveness. A living process fueled by purpose and passion. When you shift your focus from mechanical repetition to inspired action, you unlock a powerful current that carries you forward. By embracing the natural ebb and flow of motivation, prioritizing quality over quantity, and forgiving yourself for past missteps, you transform obstacles into stepping stones and setbacks into catalysts for growth. Consistency is not about perfection or rigidity. It is about aligning your heart and mind with your definite major purpose and moving steadily, even if imperfectly, toward its fulfillment. Remember, the true power lies within your ability to stoke the fire of desire, to believe unwaveringly in your potential, and to keep taking deliberate steps forward. When you do this, you will find that what once seemed like an impossible struggle becomes a natural rhythm, and the path to success unfolds before you with clarity and confidence.